Okay, yesterday I talked to you about a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. And I seen a few of you liked it. It says you can file a complaint about a conspiracy against rights under the color of law with the FBI or the Department of Justice. And I explained to you how easy it is to prove because you were deprived effective assistance of counsel. When you cite effective assistance of counsel, you must also cite the opposing party, whether it be a private lawyer or in a criminal case, state's attorney. You must cite them for violating the rules of professional conduct, as well as a judge for judicial misconduct, because reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. And lawyers constantly violate the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct. Judges and lawyers are legally responsible for both the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct being enforced in a court of law. Failure to report misconduct is misconduct. So that's proving a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. Okay, you would have to read the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct to understand. I'm going to go over that briefly in one of my videos, upcoming videos. Okay, but I just wanted to show you where I've been, where I'm going, and what I'm doing. Okay, Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, contact your local FBI office. Provide as much information and details as possible. Department of Justice, submit a report using the Civil Rights Division online form. Write the Department of Justice, and you've seen by my other video, I've been at it with them for a very, very long time. What does the FBI? The FBI does? FBI investigates allegations of criminal deprivation. It is a crime. Criminal deprivation, civil rights. The FBI finds probable cause for a crime. It can pause charges, though prosecutors at the Department of Justice. It can pursue charges through prosecutors at the Department of Justice. Okay, so I mean, it happens in every, no matter what court you're in. You know, even if you go pro se, there's still fairness to the opposing party. Look up the rules of professional conduct. Look up fairness to the opposing party. They violate that rule. They violate competence, failure to expediting litigation. You know, there's so many rules they violate. So even though you go pro se and you don't have a lawyer, you can still cite the opposing party for violations of the rules of professional conduct and the code for violating the codes of judicial conduct for not citing the opposing party for multiple violations of the rules of professional conduct. And the opposing party is supposed to cite the judge for violating the code of judicial conduct for not reporting the opposing party for violating the rules of professional conduct. See, it's a continuous loop. The rules and the codes are symbiotic. They live off each other. You violate one, you violate the other, no matter the circumstance. Okay, and that's what you're dealing with. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're all dealing with. What do you do if you are in immediate danger? Now, some people, I've taught this and are using the information I haven't heard back from. Some people in criminal court, some people in civil court, a couple people in federal court. Lately, quite a few people in child custody. And they're using the conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. And I'm quite sure they're facing retaliation. You know, our public servants have a consistency to retaliate, and I told you they left me for dead. And I'll get into that. One of my videos, my earliest videos, is of me going through a hospital report from Cermak Hospital, which is a hospital inside Cook County Jail, where they said they couldn't treat me. So they sent me to Cook County Hospital from Cermak Hospital. Cermak Hospital said they couldn't treat me because if they treated me, they would have to report that and heads would roll. So I even had who was supposed to be a famous civil rights attorney in on the matter, but he decided not to proceed. So he involved himself in a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. So all I'm doing is pointing out everybody that broke the law to deprive me of my constitutional rights. Okay. So if you or someone else is in immediate danger, please call 911 or the local police. You're calling public servants on public servants? No. What I'm teaching you is literally breaking the code of silence. It starts on the streets with the police, but it doesn't end until you get to the U.S. Supreme Court, the code of silence. All right, Civil Rights Division, statutes enforced by so this is a lot for you to look up, but it's in layman's terms. As easy as what I'm reading to you, as easy as you'll understand it. Civil Rights Division, U.S. Department of Justice, that tells you where. What is conspiracy to violate law, rights under the color of law? Title U.S.C. Section 241, conspiracy against right is, it further makes it unlawful for two or more persons to go in disguise on the highway or premises of another with intent to prevent or hinder his or her free exercise of employment or any right secured. Okay, the color of law was put in place so the person with authority are not lawfully permitted to deprive individuals of their right. Sexual abuse, falsely arresting an individual, or falsely falsifying documents and information are examples of unlawful actions. What are the following examples for conspiracy against rights? There's a whole lot you can look up and you can find out, okay? People keep telling me I talk to them about different cases that I help with. I don't need to hear anything about a criminal case because this is a civil case. I don't need to hear anything about a civil case because this is child custody. I'm not giving them, because all courts are different, that is for sure, and depending on the circumstances, whether it be child custody, civil case, whatever, yeah, but one thing is contingent, is effective assistance of counsel in every court. So the rules of professional conduct and the code of judicial conduct are universal in every court. They are the key common denominator in every court of law. Okay, so as long as you keep that in mind, then you can get through anything that you're going through. And remember, if all this didn't happen in the beginning, what you're going through now is null and void. It shouldn't have happened. Okay, so when you read the rules and the codes, that's supposed to happen from the very start. All of that. And don't forget to use the letter of the law. Everything there has to be done word for word to the letter. Department of Justice, deprivation of rights under the color of law. So that way, if you look this up, you'll understand it better yourself than I myself reading it to you. FBI.gov, federal civil rights statutes. Okay, so you want to look that up. Deprivation of rights under the color of law. Now, seriously, if I can understand this, I actually put it together when I read the rules of professional conduct. It led me to the code of judicial conduct because it's mentioned in there. And none of that was happening. Everybody worked together to see to it that I looked guilty. Okay, they refused to have witnesses, refused to use any evidence, and broke it down to hearsay. My word against theirs. That's all it started out with, and that's how it ended. But in the first case, I did manage to get them to hear me out on violating the double jeopardy clause, because they had me on numerous charges, 18, 20, I don't remember. They wouldn't give me discovery. Nothing. I couldn't get anything. All I got was the transcript, and my dad had to get that for me. But either way, they did everything. Everybody, my lawyer, the state's attorney, judge, were all responsible for withholding exculpatory evidence. U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. Okay, you could look that up. Getting Uncle Sam to enforce your civil rights. Okay, that's what I've been trying to do since 1979. Like I said, since I found the rule of professional conduct. Fine law. Okay, it tells you about conspiracy against rights. Complaint for violation of civil rights, non-prisoner. Provision of against conspiracy to deprive. What does it mean? Okay, so you got to remember that everybody took an oath to do this, right? Okay, so violating the oath. Violating oath means breaking a vow or promise, such as lying under oath. Failing to perform one's duties, this can be a crime and can have serious consequences. Examples for violating the oath: intentionally lying or giving false information under the oath. Okay. This can include swearing or intentionally lying or giving false information while under oath. This can include swearing or something that is untrue or failing to do what was promised. Violating the oath of office: when a public official doesn't perform their duties as outlined in their oath. This can include treason, abuse of office, and high crimes. That's what they can be charged with, okay? When a public official doesn't perform their duties as outlined in their oath. Okay, so the charges: this can include treason, abuse of office, or high crimes. Making a false oath, knowingly and fraudulently making a false statement in a case. This can include bankruptcy proceedings. Penalties for violating the oath of office can include removal from office, fines, and confinement, or that means incarceration. Making a false oath can result in fines, imprisonment, or both. A notable example for violating the oath of office is when former I didn't write this. This is a notable example for violating the oath of office is when former President Donald Trump incited the mob to attack the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. That was breaking the oath. Okay, so people asked me, what was that called? Okay, don't argue with me, argue with the law, okay? I was talking to somebody about this conspiracy to deprive rights under the color law, and they started injecting politics, and happens all the time. I said, do that on the internet, we're just talking law here, And he said, what does it matter if it's Democrat or Republican? Exactly. That's why I'm apolitical. I have to keep explaining to people this is an apolitical thing, okay? Meaning I don't take sides, It's a self-imposed ethic that I evolved within myself after reading the Code of Judicial Conduct. Because in there it requires every judge is legally required to be apolitical, have an apolitical mindset. But they don't. Okay, high treason is a crime that involves disloyalty to a country or government. It can include plotting to kill a head of state, waging war against the government, or aiding the enemy. Examples of high treason: plotting to kill the sovereign, waging war against the government, aiding the enemy, waging war against the government, aiding an enemy, advocating to overthrow the government, or organizing a group to overthrow the government. Punishment for high treason. In the United Kingdom, high treason can result in the death penalty, such as execution by hanging or beheading. In the United States, high treason can result in death, imprisonment, fines, and being unable to hold public office. High treason in history. In medieval England, high treason included plotting to kill the king. In the United States, there have been cases of treason, including enemy aliens residing in the U.S. territory. High treason is in literature. High treason is also the name of a book by Robert J. Gordon. Okay, treason. disloyalty against one's monarch was known as high treason, and treason against lesser superior was petty treason. Okay, so violating the oath, even trying to overturn the Constitution is treason. What is considered treason? What is the highest form of treason? Treason is rare but very serious crime. Or about treason-related crimes such as seditious conspiracy and insurrection. Treason is the highest of all crimes, defined intentionally betraying one's allegiance by levying war against the government or giving a comfort to its enemies. Now remember, every public servant took an oath to you. Taking an oath to serve and protect the Constitution is taking an oath to serve and protect who that Constitution was dedicated to, which is the citizenry of the United States of America. Okay. And remember, and it clearly states, not just in the Constitution, but also in the Rules of Professional Conduct and the preamble, that everybody in law enforcement, everybody, in the legal system is required to do what's in the public interest and maintain the public trust, and the legal system is part of the public trust. Okay, so not doing any of what I spoke about is treason. High treason punishment. We already spoke about that. High treason versus treason. High treason in the United States. High treason examples. I gave you examples of high treason that they're not giving you, but it's more than obvious. A conspiracy against rights under the color of law is high treason. Okay, but I'm just giving you things to look over and consider, and what I've been using against, lawyers, judges, trying to talk to politicians about, but I'm just one man, one person, but I'm going to keep trying.